What's one of the most important things you can do to help people turn their lives around? Do you have students who need to make some radical changes in their lives? Do you have students or people in your life who you want to help, but they have so many self-sabotaging behaviors? My name is Dr. Manny Scott. I want to share with you some of what I've learned about working with students like that, with young people like that. But before I do, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. So what's one of the most important things you can do to help people turn their lives around? Sometimes I'll walk into a school and I'll speak at a school-wide assembly to 1,000 kids, 500 kids, 2,000 kids. And quite often they're in poor neighborhoods or in neighborhoods that are just dealing with all kinds of challenges. After I'm finished speaking, many of the students form a line. For years, they would form a line for 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 hours long and talk to me one at a time and share with me a personal story, some personal trauma that they've experienced, or to ask me for some advice. And quite often, their needs were so diverse, so different. Although there were some similarities with regard to pain and trauma, their needs were so great that quite often I felt overwhelmed because each one of them needed individual attention. So I now believe that to really help the students who need the most help, there needs to be a one-on-one relationship, a one-on-one mentorship with that kid. There are so many people around you who need one person to just invest in them, to take time with them, to teach them the things they need to learn in order to heal, in order to succeed, in order to thrive. So let me just share a little bit about how this has worked for me. After I dropped out of high school, a complete stranger came and sat down next to me and shared his story with me, prayed with me, and introduced me to a man named Richard. Richard was a pastor of a local church. Pastor Richard mentored me. Pastor Richard would invite me over his house and he'd pray with me, and he would invite me to drive around with him while we fed people who were hungry. And he would just model for me what a healthy life looked like. When I returned to school and I was placed in the back of Aaron Gruel's class, that woman in many ways mentored me. She provided some one-on-one help just for me, things that I needed specifically to make some improvements in my writing and in my thinking and in my life. When I started playing football, I had a coach, Coach J.C. Clark, who used to sit with me one-on-one and just talk to me about life and give me perspective. And even he would pray with me. I had another coach, Coach Tavazan. He saw my potential and he used to call me up to it. He used to speak great things about me and it would inspire me and encourage me, and I wanted to live up to those expectations. When I went to college, I had a professor. Her name was Omawali Fowles. She used to encourage me and mentor me one-on-one. I'd go see her during her office hours, and I'd share with her some of the challenges I was having as a black student at UC Berkeley. And this woman would just sit there with me and help me process some of my experiences and give me some tools and some equipment to help me navigate such an intimidating, challenging environment. When I went to graduate school and I was struggling there, I would go sit with some of my professors, and those professors mentored me. There was Eckhart Schnabel. I would sit with him once a week, probably one of the most brilliant men I've ever had the privilege of knowing. I would just sit there with this man and he would invite me over to his home, and he and his wife would cook for us, me and my wife, and talk with us. And it was a great experience. There was Grant Osborne. Grant Osborne pulled me aside one day after hearing me speak, and he just encouraged me to continue to let all of my background come out whenever I was speaking. And so in a lot of ways, he freed me to speak comfortably in white contexts. Don't hold back. We need that, he said. We need that. Don't hold back. That's a gift to us. That man blessed me and mentored me. There was John Woodbridge, a history professor, who I would sit with for hours sometimes when I was frustrated or discouraged. And this man would just encourage me. Sometimes this one thing he said, history is the antidote to fear. If you've ever heard me say that, I got that from him. He says, when you're uncertain about your present or your future, all you've got to do is look back and see that it was God keeping you, God looking out for you, God providing for you, God making a way for you. And oh man, that encouraged me. That man mentored me through a challenging time in graduate school. There was James Hoffmeyer, who I went to Egypt with and spent time with. And this man was so encouraging to me. I could go on and on and on. When I got to my doctoral program, it was Dr. Craig Ott who would spend time with me, giving me one-on-one feedback on how to improve my thinking, my research, my writing. And really, for the last 12 years, this man has been a very present help in times of trouble. He has encouraged me. He's prayed for me. He has challenged me. He's given me constructive criticism and feedback to help me get better, to think more critically and carefully, to not allow my conclusions to be stronger than my evidence. And I could go on and on and on about the way Craig Ott has mentored me into becoming the man I am today. My life is a product of many of the mentors who took the time to invest in me, to correct me, to teach me. These mentorships have molded me and shaped me into the man that I am today. I share all of that to say to you, if you have a bunch of little Manny Scotts in your life, you can help all of them collectively, maybe on a surface level. You can help all of them collectively. You can provide inspiration and encouragement, but to really help them, they're going to need some one-on-one conversations with you. One-on-one crucial conversations. One-on-one, face-to-face, where you can speak honestly and lovingly to them about their lives, about what they're going through, and about changes they need to make, about beliefs that are holding them back. Those one-on-one conversations will have a greater impact on them than you helping them in a large group. Now, you can still help them in the large group. Don't get me wrong. I believe life change happens in a moment. Managing that change and continuing that change takes time and hard work. But I think change happens immediately when you really make a decision. When you make a decision, you're cutting off certain things from your life and you're choosing a certain path. When you do that, that happens in a moment. But to manage that takes time and hard work. To develop the disciplines and the habits to continue in that decision, to execute that decision, takes a lot of work. And that's where mentorship comes in. That's when you're a one-on-one person. So what am I saying? I'm saying, I know you're busy, but can you pick one person that you're going to invest in this season in your life? One person that you're going to walk with. One person that you're going to cheer for. One person that you're going to show up for at their special events, maybe a graduation or a football game or a track meet. One person who knows that you are there for them. One person who maybe is not being properly raised, does not have the support at home from mom or dad, for whatever reason. One person that you can take under your wing and say, this one is mine. This is the one I'm going to invest in. Can you find a person, one person, and say, I'm going to invest in this person? Now you might say, I got a bunch of these kids who need all of my help. I hear you, but you're one person. And so you're going to have to be very selective. Maybe you can pick 7, maybe you can pick 12, and you're going to be selective about spending time with these 12 once a week. But at some point, you're going to have some one-on-one conversations to really help someone. They need one-on-one mentorship from you. So share this with your network. If you have a team of teachers or of staff members, share it with your entire school staff and let them know that everybody here needs to pick at least one kid that needs a mentor. And you try your best to build a relationship with that kid and mentor that kid. Invest in that one kid. Yes, there's going to be a lot of kids that won't have individual mentors, but there'll be a whole lot of kids who need the most help, who will have a mentor because you were intentional about it. Find someone you can mentor, please. When you mentor people and you see them grow and you see them flourish and you see them just run on with the advice and the wisdom and the life lessons you've shared with them, it does your heart so good. All right? So thank you for watching. Again, I'm Dr. Manny Scott. If this has helped you in any way, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, leave a comment below, and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. Until next time, be salty.